Hi, this is Ramu, Associate Professor, Department of CSC, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. In today's class, we are going to discuss about what is an algorithm and how flowchart will work. See, here algorithm is a set of steps. Here, if you observe the definition, an algorithm is a process or a set of rules to be followed in a calculation or other problems solving operations. Simple. Every activity or every problem has a set of rules, set of steps to solve the particular problem, right? All these steps are called as an algorithm. Together, all the steps is called as an algorithm, right? See, and every algorithm contains 0 or more inputs and it contains 1 or more outputs, right? In algorithm, if you observe that set of rules to be obtain the expected output from the given input. See, making the tea, right? And coming to the college, right? And cooking the food, right? Writing the exam, all are the problems. If you solve the problems, you should follow some procedure, right? Suppose making the tea. So you have to collect all the ingredients and you have to start your stove, right? And all the together you need to make the, if you follow some steps, right? Yes or no? So all the steps together is called as an algorithm. Here, all the steps together is called as an algorithm, but the all steps should be contain some characteristics. See, for example, if you consider here an algorithm, if you call it as a procedure is called as an algorithm, see, it should follow a 6 characteristics. The first one is a well-defined inputs, right? Means the input should be well-defined. It's how we are going to give the inputs and what is the format it has, right? So what kind of data it is going to accept? It is going to accept the strings or it is going to accept the integer. What kind of data it is going to accept? That should be very clear, right? Coming to the next, what is the output of the particular problem or algorithm, right? What kind of output it is going to give? It's going to give the string format, or it is going to give the list of numbers, list of names. So what kind of output it is going to give? This should be very, very clear before going to start your algorithm. If you clear with your input and output, then only you are going to start the algorithm. Otherwise, it is difficult to achieve as your target. Our target is to reach or get the appropriate or expected output from the algorithm, right? If you want, or if you wish to generate the output, you should clear with the output what you want after that, right? You join BTech, right? So what is the purpose of the BTech? So this is the 2 things. First one is the getting the good job and as well as the knowledge, right? What are the inputs? Your 4 years time, yes or no? And the every year term fees, all are the inputs. If you clear with this kind of pattern, means what is the input and what is the output, then definitely you are able to create a appropriate algorithm for the particular problem, right? The next thing, clear and unambiguous. See, every step should be very clear. It should didn't create any ambiguity, right? Reading means you should read the data. Don't create the mesh here, right? So only what required the particular instruction, you just write it there without ambiguity. That is very, very important. And next, finiteness means this algorithm should be complete within the time span. It doesn't go to infinite number of times, right? It should be complete within the specified time. Yes or no? That is a finiteness. How much time it is going to take the algorithm and when it is going to complete. If you write an algorithm, right, it is going to keep on executing. It doesn't get the output. Then it is called as an infinity time number of times it is going to execute. Then there is no use of the particular algorithm. Yes or no? Means your algorithm should be finite. Next, language independent. So don't write an algorithm is to related to any particular language like C language. Don't use printf. For example, if you write if you want to print the data, right? In C language, you can use a printf, right? Don't print. So instead of writing the data, don't use a printf. Or if you're writing a algorithm for a particular C language, CPP, C++, then you can don't use a cout, because cout is a print statement in C++. For example, Java. In Java, you can use system.out.println. These are three different statements. Don't go for any specific language. So if you write an algorithm, this should be generalized for all the languages, right? It can easily convertible to another language. Then only this is a good algorithm. This is called as a characteristics of the algorithm. Last one, feasibility. Feasibility means, is it possibility? Is there any possibility to implement the particular algorithm or not? For example, you quoted with the future technology that is not available in the current trend. Then that is not possible to execute the algorithm. Yes or no? That should be feasible. Means, is it possible to execute, or is it possible to implement the particular algorithm or not? That is very, very important. Yes or no? So, what is the first characteristics? Is a well-defined inputs and well-defined outputs. Next, clear and unambiguous steps. Each step should be very, very clear. Next, finiteness. It should be complete within the time frame. And next, language independent. So don't write your algorithm to any particular specific languages. And next, feasibility. Is it possible to implement the particular algorithm or not? Don't use any future technologies. The algorithm should be include only available technologies or available procedures or steps only. Right? If it doesn't satisfy one of this characteristic, then that is not an algorithm. If you call it an algorithm, so algorithm is a step-by-step process to solve a problem, as well as it should follow the following characteristics. Simple way. An algorithm is a step-by-step process to solve a problem, and it should satisfy the following characteristics. That should be well-defined inputs, well-defined outputs, finite number of steps, and unambiguous steps, and it is a language independent, and it should be a feasibility. Then that kind of procedure is called as an algorithm, right? So here, it's a very, very important thing is how we are going to measure the algorithm. So measuring of the algorithm. In computer science, every algorithm, so one problem contains n number of solutions. Yes or no? For example, if you want to reach from IRA to Charminar, you have n number of routes. Yes or no? But you should reach earliest possible there. Yes or no? Earliest possible. Then you have to find the shortest path from here to Charminar. Yes or no? You have n routes. Even you can go to Charminar via America also. Yes or no? You have one path. So flying, so something. But that is not the case here. Here you need to reach to the Charminar earliest possible time. Earliest possible. Then what you need to do? How to find the shortest path from here to Charminar. And as well as you have to reach with the less cost. Less time and less cost. These are two things are there. Yes or no? Less cost, then you should go through public transport. But if the time is precious, then you should hire the cab. Yes or no? Like that. Algorithm. If you write an algorithm, so every algorithm has a finite number of steps. It's for the characteristics, as well as how much feasibility to the particular situation. Is it possible to implement the particular algorithm to the particular situation? Yes or no? Right? If an algorithm follows a particular steps and within the time frame, then that is suitable to particular problem or solution. See, if you observe here, if you want to measure the algorithm, the two things are very, very important here. Time factor and space factor. Then nowadays, we are not bothering about the space complexity. It's called as a time complexity or space complexity also. See, now we are only bothering about the time because time is very precious now. Yes or no? So every day you are going to upload so many videos into the YouTube and what it is called, and so many posts in the Facebook and Telegram, WhatsApp. So many tools are creating huge amount of data. Yes or no? to process that kind of data, you have to find the best algorithm. The best algorithm, right? If it is a best algorithm, then it is going to clear. I mean, for example, if you want to search your friend photos in particular, sorry, in the Facebook, then what do you do? If you search the data, so by default it is going to generate your, I mean, show you all the friends. I mean, suppose if you type Ramu, then it shows all the users with the name of Ramu. Yes or no? How it is possible? They created such kind of tool behind that using some efficient algorithm. If it is not efficient, if you search that, so it takes 1 or 2 days, then what? Is it is it useful to us? No. It should be satisfied earliest possible. Then that is called as a best algorithm. Means here space is a very less consideration in the algorithm analysis point of view. We're only considering the time. So what is the time factor means? See, time is measured by counting the number of key operations. Number of key operations, such comparisons in the sorting algorithm. Right? Whatever it may be, sorting or searching, so whatever it may be. So a number of key operations. Number of key operations. I will show you how I am going to count the number of operations. Right? And space. See, space is measured by counting the maximum memory space required by the algorithm. So how many number of steps are, how many variables required to store the data? How many variables are required? Each variable is a counting of one space. Then it is called as a space complex, a space factor. See, here I am going to explain one algorithm. What is that? Adding 3 numbers and print the data, print the sum. See, here how many variables are required? Tell me. 3 variables, right? Yes or no? So first one is declaring 3 integers, num1. See, observe clearly. Num1, num2, num3. We require 3 variables. After that, what we did here? Take the 3 numbers to be added input variables num1, num2, num respectively. Right? And declare the integer variable sum and store the result into 3 variables. So here you require one more variable. What is that? Sum variable. Means 4 variables are required. Yes or no? They required 4 variables. And add the numbers, store the results in the variable sum. Right? After that, you perform the operation and store the data into the sum. After that, print the value of variable sum. Right? Just to print what is the sum of the data. For example, this value is 2, this value is 3, this value is 4. Then result goes to 3 plus 2, 5. Right? This value is, the result is 9 here. Now you may have one question. Sir, what is the space complexity or space factor? What is that? How much space is going to take this algorithm? See, I'm going to explain that one. See, how many variables used here? 4 variables, right? Then this is the space is going to take the 4 variables. Right? And what is the time complexity? Here, see, every step is going to take the 1 unit of time. This is a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Means this is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? This is a 5. You can run this program n number of times, then all the time it is going to take the same kind of space and same kind of time. So then it is called as a constant time. So you simply call it as a big O of 1 and 1 only. It's a constant time. For example, if you run a loop, if you do the n number of operations, for example, if you add the n number of n numbers, here only 3 numbers, right? If you write a code for the, instead of 3, you can write a n. Then you need to store the n numbers, right? Then you require n variables. You require n variables. As well as how many times you are going to repeat that? So it's a common, but addition is you need to repeat the n number of times, right? So by default it is going to big O of n. This is called as a linear time. Right? You will study very clear in the data structures and algorithms concept subject. Alright? But no need to much worry on that regarding this. So only you just remember, if you want to measure the algorithm, you require the 2 things, that is the time and the space. Time is how many number of units of time it is going to execute. How many number of times. And space is how many variables you used. If you clear these two things, then it's enough to measure the algorithm, and you just satisfy. You just observe the characteristics of the algorithm. What are the characteristics of algorithm? First one is the well-defined inputs. Yes, you require 3 inputs. And output, well-defined output. Yes, it is going to be the one integer. And next, steps. Each step is a finite number of time. Yes or no? And there is no ambiguity. They're writing very clear each and every step. And next thing is, so it is not related to any language. It is very general. And the last one is, there is no future. It is a feasibility. The algorithm has a feasibility to implement. Right? Then this is the perfect algorithm. Is this clear? Next, we'll see the flowchart. See, algorithm and flowchart. Algorithm is a step-by-step process to satisfy the or to generate the output, right? Using some steps and follow some characteristics. But coming to the flowchart, this is somewhat different when you comparing with the algorithm. The flowchart is a diagrammatical representation of an algorithm. Diagrammatical representation. A pictorial representation. Here we require to know some symbols. See, the first one is a terminal. So this is the where your program starts and ends. So if you mention this one, this is the starting and ending of your program. And next thing, operation. This is the process, simply called as a processing step. If you perform some addition, then you should require to use C equal to A plus B plus C. Right? This is the process. And decision. If you want to do something, right? Yes or no? Today are you going to college or not? Yes or no? So when you have to have 2 branches, you have to take some decision regarding the particular situation. Then how to use this symbol, decision. And next, input and output. If you want to read data and if you want to print the data, then you can use this symbol. So this shows the where data is given in the program, right? And predefined process, if you have anything. Only if you require, if you know these 4 symbols, then it is enough to develop almost all the algorithms, all the flowcharts. See, we'll see with an example. Here, what I'm going to do, first one, start. This is the initial step. This is start. And when you mention your arrow here, then this is called as an input. Here you're going to take the input. Right? Here, perform process. Adding the 3 numbers and store into the sum. So as your wish, you can write. Right? And print the result. This is a small algorithm for the flowchart for the calculating the addition of 3 numbers. Is this clear? And also in this moment I am going to explain one tool that is called as a Raptor. You just download it, is a freely downloadable. The Raptor is a tool. It is going to use to execute your flowcharts. So up to now, execute your flowcharts. If you want to execute your flowcharts, then you can use a Raptor. Raptor is a tool. It is going to execute your flowcharts. So we'll see how the Raptor will work. So this is the Raptor tool. Here you have some symbols over there. See what I'm going to do. I'm going to perform addition of 3 numbers. See, here I'm going to take the input. See, you just clear here. Enter the prompt here. So enter value, and the value variable name is A. So you should use colon here. Yeah. Enter a value. That value is stored in A, right? We require one more variable because addition of 3 numbers, right? And here also enter B value and B here, right? And you can take one more input. Enter C value You can write C here. So small c. Now we have three variables, three data items. Then what is our operation? Addition of three numbers, right? Then this is the assignment, process symbols, right? So what you need to do? How to store the result in sum, and you need to print the operation A plus B plus C. Now sum contains the result. After this, output, right? This is the output symbol. See, sum. If you run this code, observe clearly, it is going to show the step-by-step process. First, it starts from here, and it asking the value. I'm going to give the 20 as an input. Then next B, it is going to ask the B value, and OK. C is 50, and OK, and perform and print the sum result, right? So 100 is the output. Got it? So this is the way you're going to execute your flowcharts. You're going to check are you working in the right way or not. This tool will improve your logical way of thinking, right? So if you practice with the Raptor, definitely you're able to improve your logical skills, right? Yes sir, no? So try to practice, and the tutorials are available in the YouTube for more tutorials regarding the Raptor. Okay, now try to implement your problems using Raptor. Definitely it is useful to improve your logical ability. Okay, thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.